There's an animal smaller than a grain of sand that has survived something almost nothing else on Earth can, the open vacuum of space. No air, freezing cold, blasted by radiation, and it came back. We call it the water bear. And once you learn how it pulls this off, you'll never look at a patch of moss the same way again. Let's start with what it actually is. The tardigrade is a tiny 8-legged animal, usually about half a millimeter long. You'd need a microscope to really see one. Short, plump body, 4 pairs of stubby legs, each ending in little claws or sticky pads. Under magnification it kind of waddles along, slow and clumsy. A German scientist first described it back in 1773 and called it the little water bear. An Italian biologist named the whole group tardigrada, which means slow walkers. People also call them moss piglets, because that's exactly where you'll find them, in damp moss and lichen. The wild part? You could probably go scrape some moss off a wall right now and find one. They're everywhere, and almost nobody notices them. Here's where it gets strange. A tardigrade is made of only about 1,000 cells. That's it. No lungs. No gills. No blood vessels. Oxygen just diffuses straight through its skin and through the fluid inside its body. Its body cavity is filled with a clear fluid, and it moves its legs using tiny muscles, sometimes just 1 or 2 cells each, that pull the legs back and forth like an arthropod. It even has a brain, 2 simple eye spots, and little sensory feelers on its head. For something this small and this simple, it's surprisingly complete. But none of that explains the headline: how does a blob of 1,000 cells survive things that would wipe out almost anything else? This is the trick. When conditions turn brutal, drying out, freezing, no air, a tardigrade can pull in its legs, curl into a tight little ball, and basically switch itself off. Scientists call this state the ton. In that shutdown form, it can ride out things that should be impossible. Extreme heat and extreme cold. Crushing pressure, and almost no pressure at all. Being completely dried out. Starved. Even hit with radiation. Most living things would be gone in minutes under any one of these. The tardigrade just waits it out, and when good conditions come back, it can wake up and walk away. Now the part that sounds made up. Tardigrades have actually survived exposure to outer space. The open vacuum. No air to breathe, freezing temperatures, and the raw radiation of space with no atmosphere to shield them. And some came back. Think about that. This is an animal you can find in your backyard, and it can endure conditions out beyond our atmosphere that would kill a human in seconds. That single fact is why the tardigrade went from a microscope curiosity to a creature people put on t-shirts, statues, and soft toys. But survival isn't even the only surprise hiding in this thing. You'd think something this tiny just runs on autopilot. Not quite. In one experiment, researchers worked with a tardigrade species and paired a flash of blue light with a mild shock, an annoying stimulus. After a while, the tardigrade started curling into its defensive ton shape at the blue light alone, before anything else happened. That's classical conditioning. That's learning. 1,000-cell animal forming an association and changing its behavior. So this isn't just a tough little survival machine, there's a flicker of something more going on inside that microscopic head. And tardigrades have been doing this for a very, very long time. The oldest known tardigrade fossil dates back to the Cambrian period, around 500 million years ago. They were here long before dinosaurs, and they're still here, thriving in mountaintops, deep-sea trenches, tropical rainforests, and the frozen edges of Antarctica. There are about 1,500 known species. Their tiny tough eggs and shut-down ton forms are so small and durable they can hitch a ride on the wind or on another animal's foot and end up almost anywhere on the planet. That's how something so small spread across the entire world. So why does a half-millimeter animal matter? Because the tardigrade rewrites what we thought life could take. It proves that with the right design, life can pause itself, ride out the unsurvivable, and pick right back up. Scientists study them to understand how to protect cells, how life might travel between worlds, and what the real limits of survival even are. The toughest creature we know of isn't huge or fierce. It's tiny, slow, and probably living in the moss outside your door right now. If a creature this small just blew your mind, hit subscribe. There's a whole world of unbelievable animals we're getting into next. Drop a comment with which animal you want us to cover.